Somewhere in Massachusetts, a machine that could change how humanity powers itself is still being built. The man who was leading that effort isn't here to see it finished. Welcome to Seven Hills Tales. This story is different. It's not a legend, and it's not a mystery from centuries past. It's about a man whose sudden loss recently shook the scientific community to its core. He was a brilliant Portuguese scientist, and his death now leaves behind a question that cannot be unasked. Come closer to the fireside. This one deserves to be told carefully. If you follow football, you know what it means when someone is simply the best in the world at what they do. In the small, fiercely competitive world of plasma physics, Nuno Loureiro was that person. Born in Viseu, in central Portugal, he studied physics in Lisbon, then earned his doctorate at Imperial College London. By his 30s, he was already being called, by his own colleagues, a physicist's physicist. The kind of scientist other scientists admire. In 2024, he was named director of the Plasma Science and Fusion Center at MIT, one of the largest and most important fusion research labs on Earth. Just months later, the President of the United States personally honored him with the country's highest award for early career scientists. He wasn't just good, he was, by consensus, one of the people most likely to help humanity finally solve fusion. Losing him was the equivalent of physics losing its star captain right before the World Cup final. To understand why his death matters, you need to understand, just a little, what he actually did. Inside a fusion reactor, you're not just heating something up. You're trying to contain plasma, a super hot, chaotic state of matter, using magnetic fields. And magnetic fields are unstable. They tear. They reconnect. They release enormous, unpredictable bursts of energy. In 2007, Loureiro discovered something fundamental about this process, something called the Plasmoid instability, explaining why this magnetic tearing happens far faster than anyone's equations predicted. It sounds abstract. It isn't. This single insight became one of the building blocks for understanding how to actually control plasma long enough to harvest energy from it. The exact problem every fusion company on Earth is racing to solve. And he wasn't working in theory alone. As director of the PSFC, he was overseeing SPARC, a real, physical reactor being built in Massachusetts, designed to achieve something humanity has never achieved. A fusion reaction that produces more energy than it consumes. He called it, in his own words, a watershed moment for our entire species. On the evening of December 15th, 2025, Nuno Loureiro was shot at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. He died the following morning. He was 47 years old. Investigators connected the shooting to Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a Portuguese national who had studied alongside Loureiro decades earlier at the Instituto Superior Técnico in Lisbon. Days earlier, the same man had carried out an attack at Brown University. He was later found dead by suicide. Authorities have not indicated that Loureiro's death was connected to his research. By all official accounts, this was a deeply personal tragedy. Not espionage, not sabotage. Just the senseless loss of an extraordinary mind. He left behind a wife and 3 daughters. His case did not exist in a vacuum. In the months surrounding his death, several other scientists working in sensitive fields, nuclear technology, advanced physics, defense research, also died or disappeared under circumstances that raised questions. Enough questions that a formal federal investigation was opened. Authorities have not connected these cases. Investigators have warned against seeing patterns that may not exist. But the fact that the question had to be asked at all says something about the world these scientists were working in, and the stakes attached to what they knew. Here's the question I can't stop thinking about. Fusion energy, if it works, doesn't just mean cheaper electricity. It means something close to limitless clean power. It means the end of our dependence on fossil fuels. It means a fundamentally different relationship between humanity and energy itself. SPARC, the reactor Loureiro was overseeing, is still scheduled to begin operations this year, aiming for the moment of net energy gain as early as 2027. His death, MIT and Commonwealth Fusion Systems have said, will not change that timeline. The project survives. The institution survives. But one of the minds steering it does not. We'll never know exactly what Nuno Loureiro would have discovered next. What insight he might have had at 50 or 60, working at the height of his powers, with the world's most advanced reactor finally coming online under his direction. Science is collaborative. No single person holds the entire future in their hands. And yet, every so often, someone emerges who sees a little further than everyone else. Loureiro's colleagues, the people who actually understood his work, didn't hesitate to call him exactly that. So we're left holding an uncomfortable, unanswerable question. Not whether fusion will happen, it likely will, but whether it would have happened differently, sooner, more elegantly, through some insight only he was positioned to find. Nuno Loureiro spent his life trying to recreate, here on Earth, the same process that powers every star in the sky. He didn't get to finish the work, but he got further than almost anyone alive. Some stories don't have a tidy ending. This is one of them. All we can do is remember the work and the man behind it. If this story moved you, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like, leave a few words for his family. They deserve to know his work was seen and that it mattered. Until the next tale, keep looking up.